Okay, so the idea of the SRP, the self-represented party, is confusing to a lot of people. So this video will constitute part 2 of yesterday's video, and I'll punctuate this discussion with more examples because that seems to be the easiest way to explain it. Again, I really don't think that we will see a lot of SRPs because most people want to have that security that comes with a knowledgeable, skilled, and trusted realtor in their corner. And let's not forget insurance. Anyway, let's say someone wants to represent themselves. So the first thing that you want to do is get them to acknowledge the RICO, Information and Disclosure to Self-Represented Party form. Boom. One of the questions I get from time to time is, can you just release the keys to your listing to an SRP? Well, no, of course not. You need to be there, and you need to be there to let them and their home inspector in should they decide to buy it. But I would absolutely limit the amount of questions that I take to just questions about the home. Here's another one. Let's talk about the CMA. A person calls you to give, they want you to give them a value for their home. At this point in time, they are a prospective client. That doesn't mean that they're an SRP. Remember, you cannot offer advice to a self-represented party. That relies on your skill, knowledge, or judgment, which would include offering a valuation as it falls under client service. Prospective clients are just that, prospective, and since they are not yet involved in the trade of real estate, it's business as usual. And the reality is that RICO recognizes that a real estate agent might share information and data about values of properties to support a marketing strategy for a listing presentation. Now let's talk quickly about people who you meet at open houses. Open houses kind of work the same way as CMAs. You are meeting someone for the first time. Obviously, they aren't clients yet until they tell you otherwise. They aren't SRPs either. They are just checking out the house. And again, they might ask some questions about the house. You can be careful not to talk about seller motivation, obviously. Factual, readily available information is okay, but nothing that could be perceived as using your skill, knowledge, or opinion. Nothing really changes here than what we are already doing. Maybe just the order, because before you'd say to that open houser, hey, give me your number and I'll take you around to look at some other listings in the neighborhood. And you would determine their credibility and try to get a BRA signed. And the first thing you might say is, well, can I show an SRP a bunch of houses? Well, don't forget, they are not clients or SRPs at this point. And just like today, we take people out to build rapport to see if you want to work with each other. Now, Tressa wants you to have that conversation much sooner, and that is a good thing. So at the earliest opportunity, the dialogue should move to, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Potential Buyer, there are a lot of new legislative changes in Ontario around agents and the public, and I'd love to send you the new RICO information guide to see if you have any questions, and then we can talk again to see if my knowledge of real estate or knowledge of real estate in this area of town would be beneficial to you and what would next steps look like. It shouldn't be an unpleasant conversation, just as a matter of fact. And if they still want to be SRPs, then there's a form for that. Form 311, read it and get acquainted with it. In the next video, we are going to touch on commission and a bunch of other things.